All right, all right, all right. I see the lighting is kind of totally. Let's see here, and I don't like that. Let me switch over. I'm sorry. I don't like that lighting, and hope that this will do it. That might be too much. Okay, it's trying to get away from that bright light there. Well, maybe if I do it like that, maybe that'll do it a little bit. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, coming this evening with a message from the prophetess. Is going to talk some word. Some things dawned on me today, and I am so grateful that the Father shared these things with me in a way of teaching me and bringing things uh, to my remembrance of how things should be. And how he did it was wanting me to understand what would I have thought that the purpose for him creating the earth itself, to where the earth has no respect for he that created it, but what will be his purpose. Okay. And as a prophetess, as a pastor, as an evangelist, as a apostle, or even as a musician from Yah, we should know first and foremost not the position that we have, but the position he has. Because we first have to know his position before we know our position. In this day and time, this is what he was sharing with me. In this day and time, everybody got a role. Everybody have counted themselves in a place somewhere, saying, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I know this, I know this, I got this. But when it all said and done, do we truly know the purpose of it all and how he had it planned? And he had no problems with where it's at today. Oh, he don't have no problem with it. Why? Because he knew that it would be where it's at today, even though it's far from where he created it to be. Okay, so let's go into Genesis chapter 1. We're going to go into Genesis chapter 1, and I'm going to show you what he revealed to me. And I thought it was pretty good. Not pretty good, it was excellent. Not excellent, it was perfect. Not perfect, it was great. Okay, so when he wanted me to go into Genesis chapter 1, he took me a place I've been before, but I haven't been. That's what I like about the Most High Yah. That's why I know that he is not like everybody portray that he is. He's beyond that. I like how he does things, because he always forever giving you something different than he gave you yesterday. You see, it's always something he's adding on, and it doesn't change what he already given you. It just bring more light to what he gave you the day before. So I really enjoyed what he brought to me. And like I said, this is something I knew, but I didn't know. Okay. And it starts off in Genesis chapter 1. First, I got to say this. It it is something how so many people out here teaching, call themselves preaching, call themselves educating people about this creator. And I, Sister Deborah, I ain't had no problem. I said, wait a minute, Father, how can this be? They're not tapping in. They're actually tapping out, Father. So how is it that this whole world is caught up in that fakeness as if they know the creator himself? And even though they don't know, they got the world food that is about what they said that he is, not that he is. And he summed that bad boy up, and it all closed out and made a lock in me in a way that I have never gripped it all like I gripped it today from the Ruach, the teaching of the Holy Spirit. So let's go into the first book, and it's Genesis. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1 through 4. He's wanting us to know something here. And he took me all the way back. In the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And all they saying, this is not the dark of evil, you guys. You know, you let the Hebrew Israelite tell you, they'll tell you that's the evil. Come on now. What's evil? The dark deep, the water that's dark, because it ain't no light. So it's dark, so you don't see nothing, but you don't see anything. You hear the waves, you hear that it's water, but he's going to tell you exactly what it is. And it says in verse 2, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Now, going back to what I was saying, that darkness is not darkness of the evil, but it was a purpose and a reason for us to be able to go back and understand what was the purpose of explaining to us that the earth was without form and void, but it was dark and it was upon the deep. So we know it's water there, and that it was what? Dark. Then it says the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the water. What do you think happened then? Anybody? Listen to what it says. And the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the water. Why would something, I know it's a lot of that smeared, but if we were to really get it like he's going to nail it, what will be the purpose of us knowing that the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the water? And it's sitting here looking straight at us. Okay, someone says, yeah, let us know he is a spirit. Okay, that's a good one. To let us know that he is a spirit. The reason why he was saying to me, he wanted to let us know that the earth was void and with no form, but it was darkness and it was upon the face of the deep. What he wanted was us to understand something that's just as powerful as the Spirit. The Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the water. What do you think actually took place? The answer lies within that. What took place? What is it for you to tell me, Father Yah, that the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the water? Omnipotent present. Omnipotent present. Yeah, that's a good one too. But what he was saying is this. The Spirit is a light. A spirit, his spirit is likened to a light. And that light moved upon the dark deep. You see? The light moved upon the dark deep. But now, his first creation, after he had seen, not that he was looking for himself, but after he let us know that the Spirit of Yah has moved upon the face of the water, meaning the Spirit of Yah, which is a light, stood bright upon the dark, deep water. So what is he about to do? He finna make it permanent. Watch this here. Verse 3. And Yah say, let there be light. And there was light. What he was sending a signal in verse 2, that I am the ultimate. I am the light. My light shined when it was no form and the earth was void. And the darkness was upon the face of the deep. Who I am overpowered an earth that didn't have no form. It was void, and its darkness was upon the face of the deep. You know what that did to me? Because y'all, he know I ain't got no sense. I said, oh, now we getting whooped, ain't we? Yep. Because while we sitting here talking this clown mess, this is at the beginning. We missed it. And he pulled up after he let us know that the light of who he was, which was his spirit, showed up on earth when there was no form but darkness. Now I'm finna create light. All because what he saw himself upon the deep of the earth. Not the deep, the darkness of the deep. And then he began. Instant was his first creation, was to bring light. Why? Because the idea of him being the light. Let me start this creation off with light. Woo! Hallelujah! Praise the Most High Yah! Praise the Most High Yah! For he is light. And he started it off when it was void, darkness, with what he was and what he is. He started his creation off with light. And then he said in verse 3, and Yah said, let there be light, and there was. Then he said, and Yah saw the light, that it was good. And Yah divided the light from the darkness. But if I had to preach that thing, let me lay it out for you. I would have landed right there in verse 2. I would have wore verse 2 out. Because in verse 2, reveal who he is and how he overpower any and everything. You see? And according for us to really understand, we still had to go back and see what was right here in verse 2, what was really going on. 99.9 still today wouldn't get it. But it don't mean nothing because they don't get it. It was created and meant that they shall not get it. So listen to this. In verse 3, praise the mighty Yah. In verse 3, Yah said, let there be light, and there was light. Verse 4, and Yah saw the light. That it was good. And Yah divided the light from the darkness. He came up with the light to create first because he is light. The Hebrew Israelite takes this darkness and make it evil and wicked. That's their stupidity. That's their stupidity. But what they should have did is took it and create the world with it out of how Yah created the world, created through your teaching how he stepped in with the light of the world first and foremost. Because when he came to the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon it, but his spirit, which is the light, moved upon the face of the water. He ain't wanting us to just think that his spirit moved. No, he's letting you know I was the light all the time. Matter of fact, let me let that be the first thing I created. He didn't have to create darkness. It was already there. And we're not speaking of a darkness of evil. That's how they want you to think. No. He know when he put evil in there, when he put that other tree. He didn't have to put it in evil in this here water. That was the earth without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. That wasn't evil, y'all. But that's the weak mind of 99.9. They would take it to be that. Now watch this. And in verse 4, he said, and Yah saw the light, that it was good. And Yah divided the light from the darkness. He saw a form of who he was. All light. The light to any and everything in the world. He created it to be a light that separates the day from the night from the day. He gave it the light. This is what he's telling me. It's a part of how and why we decided to serve everything on this earth outside of the one that existed when there was nothing but dark, deep water. How did we end up serving everything outside of that one? How? Even to today, I sat here and I said, everybody is talking out of this Bible, teaching out of it, teaching these verses in these scriptures with no power. Teaching these verses and scriptures without what? Light. You see? And because they went their way and not his way, this is why they never covered this, you guys. And I'm finna cover it I ain't finished yet, baby. I'm just getting heated up. So now, he telling me this, and I'm like saying, wait a minute. Let's go on to Genesis chapter 2. And in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. Can anyone answer this question? Can anyone answer this question? Watch this here. Just watch. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. Out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant in the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge and good. Where is the light? Oh, Father, Yah. Where is the light? Anyone, if you can. Where's the light? Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. And out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant in the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Bump it up, Deborah, bump it up. Now he said, go back to 7. We kind of help you out. We still in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And Yah formed man of dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils and breathed the breath of life. And man became a living spirit. The question Yah wants me to put before you, can you see the light? Can you see the light? Okay, let's see here. Someone says the tree of light is light. Okay, someone said the tree of life. Okay, someone says the tree of life. There it is. You got it. But what he wanted me to do is hold on to life. And not so much as the tree, but life. Life is the light, child. So if he didn't breathe life into us, we are now having the light that he had when there was no earth and the earth was void and darkness and deep. We now have the light because life is the light. Life is the light. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4. But wait till y'all hear how he summed this bad boy up. In the Gospel of John, according to John, in the Gospel according to John, chapter 1, verse 4. In him, was life. That was the spirit of Yah. Listen now, listen. In him was life. And the life was, do y'all see it? Do you see what it says? And life, verse 4, and life was the light of man. It is the light. Life was, because in the beginning, when he breathed the breath of life into Adam, and then he created the tree of life, which was life. There go another light. There go the light. The light is all. The light is life, and life is the light. It was present with us at the beginning. And we dropped the ball. And we in Dumb City today, as if we don't know nothing. The Gospel of John, chapter 4. In him was life. And the life was the light of man. Verse 5, and the light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehend it not. So he's showing you your spirit shining inside your flesh. And even to today, your flesh comprehend not the light at all, because he's thinking of a soul. It's still far off. So how can your light shine? How can your light be unto the world and you don't know your light? You don't know the ultimate light that was in the beginning. His spirit is the ultimate light. That's also in the Gospel of John. It's telling you in verse 8, and he was not the light, meaning John the Baptist. But go to verse 7. And the same came for a witness to bear witness. That was John the Baptist, to bear witness of what? The light. That all men through him might believe. That's through Christ. The ultimate light, because he is the Father. So, how can we be the light of the world and not know the light or the purpose of the light? Let's go to the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 12. The Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 12, and it reads, the Gospel of John, chapter 8, and verse 12, and it reads, then spoke Yeshua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. Have y'all not heard that we were supposed to be the light of the world, like he is the light of the world? Do y'all see it? You see how Yeshua say, I am the light of the world? Like we were supposed to be, and the Judah run around here clowning. We are supposed to be in the light of the world. We were supposed to teach the world. How you gonna teach the world? And you know not the light. Let's go back to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. Watch this here. It's still messing up you. Watch this here. And then when you get to the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 8 and verse 9, he was not the light. Look at that capital light. You see? But when Yeshua said, I am the light of the world, why ain't it capital? Because this light that Yeshua talking about is the light that was in us as well. The ultimate light is Yah. That's what you see in verse 8 and verse 9. That was the true light, which let it, woo, every man that cometh unto the world. So that life was the light. So not only in the garden did we not just have life, we had the light. Adam and them had the light. And they was life. But they had the light. So what happened? When he created these things, y'all, and placed man and created man, after he created these things, then he created man, and then he also created a place where things were placed as trees. We know it wasn't really trees. And guess what? If in the garden were many other trees, but if in the garden we had the tree of life, which is the light, and we had the tree of good and evil, knowledge of good and evil as well. If everything was created was perfect and good, Not only just perfect and good, we had life, which was the light, and light that was life. The light that was life, and life that was the light. So all of this on the earth was perfect. Perfect. But over here, in the same area where life and light is as one sit here with the light and chose darkness. What Yah is saying in the beginning, when you see where he says the darkness was present and it was void, but upon the deep did his spirit move about. How could our light have life and our life have light, but yet we choose darkness? How could we be on this devil platform right here in the year of 2025 and be teaching by great numbers? Only one could allow that is the Creator himself. I'm sitting here watching people follow people and listen to people by great numbers, thousands and hundreds. And I'm trying to see, wait a minute, they're not even giving them anything in the light. They're reading this book as they reading it and not bringing no light out of it. No spirit and truth. But how could the mass of people that you have created, how could they go that way? How could that be? I know why. That's what he was wanting me to understand. That hey, keep it in your spiritual mind. Because that's where it helps you out at. When you see these things in the natural, you're trying to make it make sense, and you can't. So you got to go back to your spiritual mind to make sure you're lining up with the mind that was in Christ. You have to be able to understand these things, baby. You are not going to change. So as I was just looking at that, and I said, okay, in the Gospel of John chapter 8 and verse 12, and Yeshua said again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followed me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have light, but shall have the light of life. See, it's going back to Genesis. See, that breath of life, we should have got it right, child. It was more to that breath. It was the light and it was life together. And we turn around and say, we are the light of the world. How dare you claim to be something and you speak into darkness and you speak in darkness? You ain't speaking no light. You ain't speaking no spirit of truth. What it did for me, it made me remind me of the last 2-3 years. I've been explaining to people about have the light. Make sure you got the light. Have the light in your right hand. And people will look at me like I'm lost with the cause and without. And it gets lesser and lesser, which is a good thing from hearing it from the horse's mouth, the Most High Yah. That's what makes it good. But it's just amazing to be a living prophet, watching people, teaching people, nothing that's connected to the light, that open their eyes to life of he that was present with light. Why ain't nobody saying things that bring people to be the light in this day and time? Don't we say this day is we are in darkness? You can't turn around and make 2025 the way the world has made it. Oh, it's nothing going on. It's all good. Ain't nothing go. It is dark. It is the dark and evil days where wicked and evil have their day. And when people see this and they call it nothing wrong, nothing going on, it's all good, it's all well, and not on top of that, it's going to get better. This is where you know something wrong with people. It ain't that it's something wrong with them. It's just that they ain't nothing right about them. Let me say that again. It ain't that something wrong with them. It's just it ain't nothing right about them. Nothing right about them. So where did that lead them? So as I went on, I went to Matthew's chapter 5. I went into Matthew's chapter 5, and I was trying to get more out of this. I went to Matthew's chapter 5 and verse 14. Now that you know, in the beginning, when he breathed that in him, not only did he breathed in him life, he gave him a light to go along with the light. Okay? And that light was a spirit of his own. That's that one that's going to it was the spirit of its own. But when Yah breathed the breath and life in us, he gave us light, a spirit of our own. That's what the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9 say. Every human being that come into the world receive that light. That's a spirit. That was a spirit, you guys. How did they make it a soul? Or how did they put soul in between it? I'm not going to go there. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 14, it says, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set upon a hill that cannot be hidden. Do y'all know what light that is? Let's go back to John. And in the Gospel of John, chapter 9, he said, that was the true light which lit every man that come into the world. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. That was the true light which lighted every man that come into the world. So it's letting you know, it gave us everybody a spirit, which was a light. So when you saw Yeshua in the beginning, Genesis 1, verse 2, the earth was void in darkness, and his spirit moved upon the deep of that darkness. And who he was, the ultimate light. You see? So he took that light of who he is, and he planted it in us, giving us a light, which is a spirit like unto his spirit. See, had they really been under the Ruach, the true teacher, they would have knew that back then was giving you some sort of insight of how he was going to give us a spirit, a light like unto himself. So he started his creation. His first creation was to bring light into the earth, to separate light from darkness. And that's what he did to man. When he built man, man was dirt. He was darkness. You see? Dirt was darkness. And he breathed light into him, which was a spirit. But his flesh refused to comprehend. Hear me now. His flesh, which was darkness, refused to comprehend the spirit that was in him. That's the problem today. They don't, like I told y'all, people don't know that they have two parts to them, because man stuck a middleman in there and made it three. They're more so stuck on the third part, the middleman, which is soul, to where they'll never understand everything that I just showed y'all in Genesis 1 and in the Gospel of John. They will never understand it, because soul has been placed there, And they never did anything toward the purpose of Yah creating the world to share in a spiritual image like him that he calls light. Here, people, we dying. We in the midnight hour, in evil days, and we still can't grip doing things right because we still caught up in darkness, not comprehending the light that Yah lit every man, woman, boy, and girl with when they came into the world. And that was that spirit. Here today, you will not get them to preach and teach it. And they don't need to. And they don't have to. It's over. If that was his connection in Genesis chapter 2, it's showing us first and foremost how his spirit ruled over a void earth that was upon the deep. He saw himself as all light. And let me build light right now. And when he built the first man, he gave him light, which was a spirit like unto him. When he saw himself moving upon the earth that was void and darkness and the deep, he said, that's it. I'm going to give who I am is a spirit, is a light. And I'm going to give every man that come into the world a spirit like unto a light. That's how they coming down. Because notice, he hadn't created anything. When he was over in the beginning, he was gliding upon the in Genesis. Let me say it. And the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of Yah moved as he moved upon a void form of earth, and it was void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So that was like water, but it was just dark. But he checked himself out before he created light. And that's how he was able to say to us in John, which 99.20 billion wouldn't get, in the Gospel of John, where he said, the light shineth. That means that spirit that I've given them through life, it works, Deborah. It shines straight through darkness. But the darkness comprehend it not. So would you think that when Yeshua, I'm not sure, Yah was in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, do you think that the deep, the earth without form and void and darkness was upon the face of the deep? Do you think that it did not recognize? Praise the mighty Yah. Yah moving upon the face of that water? Why? Why did that face of that water recognize? Because he was the light of the water itself. How is it that we have gone on all these years and have not given the people the words to exalt the Father in the order in which is due him? We gone. We gone. We are gone. So when I get to that was Matthew's chapter 5. Did we not go there? Matthew chapter 5 and what was that, 14? It says, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill that cannot be, wait a minute, let me make sure. Yeah. cannot be hidden. Neither do a man light a candle and put it under a bush, but on a candlestick, and give it light unto all that are in the house. Verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good work and glorify your Father which is in heaven. How dare Judah and Israel? I ain't gonna say Israel because Israel ain't looking for no Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah, they out here doing all kinds of stuff as well. How is it that we could not teach that to the people in a way? Let's say, even without the book, just take the book away. Just use ourselves. Like I was explaining to you all a while back. Have you ever sat down and realized it's impossible for anything to have created all the vessels in your eyes that leads back into your head, connect to your brain, everything that leads to your mouth so you can speak? People don't even, they went to school and still didn't learn anything because the school wasn't teaching them the truth no way, but just the ideal of having all these organs and all these cells, and your skin is one of the biggest organs. And we stand around as if there's not a creation who have created this good work. We reject teaching the people the truth because we don't want to exalt Yah. We don't want to glorify him. We don't want to edify him because we're afraid that he would get the glory. We want the glory. We want the honor. We want the praise. We want everybody to look at us and say, see us? We teaching y'all. So as I'm listening, I'm like hearing this person teaching Proverbs 19. I'm hearing this person teaching Proverbs, what is it? 119. That's what it was. It wasn't 19, it was 119. I hear this person teaching Psalms, 24. I'm hearing them teaching it, and ain't nothing they saying lining up with spirit and truth. You know why? The light. Now, when you see, let me see who can answer it. When you see Matthew chapter 5, okay, and verse 14, verse 14, when it says, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. What kind of light is that? Anybody? Is that the same light that is in the Gospel of John? Chapter 1, verse 4, verse 5, verse 8, and verse 9. Come on with me now. Come on here. It says, and ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill that cannot be hidden. Tell me, what light is that? Okay, so you say it's the same. Yes, it's the same light. Okay. So someone said, yes, it's the same light. Why is this light called a city? Mm. Mm. Why is this light called a city? And if the light, ye are the light of the world, and the city that is set on the hill, listen to what it said. A city that is set on a hill. No, let me say this right. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hidden. What light is this? the city because it cannot be hidden. Okay. Okay. So you say it's the same light. Okay. Don't forget, every man came into the world. I mean, everyone born into the world with the light. But Yeshua is saying something here. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do man light a candle and put it under a bush, but on a candlestick, and it is given light unto all that are in the house. Verse 16, let your light so shine before man, that they may see your good works and glorify the Father which is in heaven. This light that it is speaking of has been it's a different kind of light. It cannot be the light that every man come into the world with, which is the breath of life, which is that light. This has to be a light that represent even Yeshua. He said, I am the light of the world. You see? So if he is the light of the world, those that follow him are what? The light of the world. It's not everybody that is the light of the world. Go back to Genesis 1, verse 2. The earth was void and without form, and the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the deep. That's a light that's shining. The ultimate light. Yah. That's the light that is of the world. See, Yah gave those that came down. He branded them to be the light of the world, not like unto the light, which is a spirit that he's given every man, which is an image of himself. He is an image of a spirit, which is a light. I keep telling people that. We are given a spirit, which is a light. Y'all gave every man that. But here, this is going beyond. We are the spirits that rule the world in the light that represent Yah. So it's not everybody light. That's why he said a city that is set up on a hill. How do you get that city set on that hill? Cannot be hidden. Who could have done that? That is Yah have handpicked his to be the light of the world. Like unto Yeshua, he said, I am the light of the world. Even though he was the light of the world, he only had 12 disciples following him, therefore. But yet he was the light of the world, because he's sending a sign that those who follow me, they too are the light of the world. Because who he had with him raised him up from the dead, which was Christ. That's what made his light be the light of the world. It's still Yah. So no, we cannot be the light. We all cannot be the light as we know the light. And that's the part of this message. It's just so much, even from the beginning, learning how we should have looked at that. How could we have missed Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 2, 3, and 4, giving us an insight of Yah being a spirit, which is a light. He's that capital light. And he started his creation off with light. Creating light, separating light as the day and darkness as the night. And then turn around and gave man likewise the light. Where at? In darkness. Get the light set. What do you mean, Deborah? Adam, flesh, had a light, which was his spirit. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5. And the light shined in his flesh, but his flesh comprehend it not. What is there he's supposed to comprehend? First and foremost, everything I've been teaching y'all. There was so much in them right here today. I just explained it to you. All the organs and all the cells, everything about us, it will lead us to be able to glorify, edify, magnify the Creator himself, just to know what we are all consist of, even in the flesh. How ain't nobody could have created that but a Creator himself. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to look at things in a way that we can see it outside of the flesh teaching. Now, if the science and the medical doctors and tell us, oh, we all for it. We want to learn about our body. But we don't want to learn about the one that created it. That's why he said in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, that the light shined, Deborah, in their flesh, and they comprehend it not. What is that saying today? Likewise. Because when you come to the knowledge of you a spiritual being, and that spiritual being was the image of Yah, it should be able to take you to where you need to go in understanding some things, to where you be tarrying for the Ruach to come to live in you, to give you the things that you need to receive. Because by now you're a cuckoo clock, because you're trying to put the pieces together. But from what it looks like, it wasn't created to be put together. So this is why I sit back and I think about having a lane to go in is you need it. Because when you out here and you're trying to give this, and you know that these people ain't gonna get this, go on in your lane, girl. That lane is a place of comfort, assurance that you're gonna be all right. Just because you know it, you can't expect everybody else to know it. They have to get it from the same horse's mouth, which is Yah himself, as you. Because he is not in the business in the end days. And show me a verse where he said in the end days, I'm going to send someone else so you can understand. He ain't going to tell you that. So what he was sharing with me, let's go to Proverbs chapter 4. What he was sharing with me, not just with that, but other things, because I was like, this just don't make no sense. This is what I was saying. It just don't make no sense. All these people on here and people following them like big time. People, just really making these people like they strictly from heaven. These people ain't giving them nothing. So a while back, I made a video. Everybody got what they got coming. Yeah, when he nailed that, when he nailed them two books, the book of life and the book to the lake of fire, he nailed that. He nailed that bad boy to the T. Because I'm not a dead prophet. I'm a living one sitting down here watching, saying, Father, you must have really nailed that. I ain't no much. You did. You nailed that. because everything that he's revealing to me in the wilderness and he's teaching me, I'm actually living on the earth, seeing exactly what he's teaching me. I'm not sitting here trying to give the glory and honor to no a priest or no apostle or no pastor, no leader. Him and him only. From being what? An awesome teacher of all things. Now watch this. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 18. What does it say? She is the tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. And happy is everyone that retaineth her. Everyone that retaineth her. But notice it says the tree of life. Yah was ever present right there. Why? Because don't forget, everything he created was perfect. Everything was perfect, you guys. Why wouldn't he be there? Why wouldn't he? He was. How would you look? You'll look really stupid. Not being able and 99.15 trillion or looking stupid. Because if you really think about it, everything he created, it was good, it was perfect. Then he sat right there as life in perfection, in perfectness, and created man. And man went around everything outside of what was perfect and what was eternal life. Even that which had light to show him the way. He didn't want to be shown the way. Everything on the earth was perfect. Except for that one thing that was there. And it came looking like good and evil, having knowledge. And flesh felt it's better for me to go that route than to have everything perfect. Just the same way it is today, y'all. I know y'all will sit and lie. You will look cockeyed and lie quick. It's the same way today. That Yah is so perfect, so excellent, so great, so powerful. And no matter what he is, people will not turn his way. This is why you see all these people on YouTube, on all these different platforms, call themselves people who ain't never been called by the Ruach to teach, preach, nor anything, is on these devil platforms. Booming. That is identical to how easy Adam took the direction of knowledge of evil and good, good and evil. All the whole earth was perfect. And no one ever see if you had to teach that, that's how you have to teach it. Everything he created, he saw that was good. Everything was perfect. Even him himself in that garden as life. Perfect. Well, what will make a person go to here after everything is perfect? That's how the world is today. Everybody going in a direction to what is not perfect. And that is Yah, who is all perfect. They're going in the opposite direction. And don't think that Yah is hurt. Don't think he been out of balance. Oh, no, baby. Just the beauty of knowing it all from the beginning to the end, where everybody's going to be at, where everybody's going to go. Guess what? He even got the beauty of what it's going to look like and where everybody gonna stand and where they gonna be come the kingdom. That's who he is. He all that and some. He already can see the end to the end to the end. We in glory now. He already there. You see, and we down here thinking we doing something. At least trying to portray that we are. Playing hypocrite and all other things. Now, this is another thing he's showing me. He said in Revelation, watch this here. He said in Revelation chapter 2, in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. In Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9, it says, I know thy works and tribulation, poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now, when he brought that one to me, I'm like, where you going with this one, Father? Now, Father, these people don't know nothing about that. But it was about me knowing. Listen to what he's saying. Now, how did that get in here, Deborah? If they say that they are the true Jews, wouldn't this be talking about them? See, I'm like, exactly. He's showing me that this is how he would allow them to do whatever. But what he wants to make a statement, ain't nobody gonna move it. Nobody. Because even in a Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9, there's some deep stuff there, y'all. I know thy work and thy tribulation and poverty. He's only that this is a people he talking to. But thou art rich. Who is he calling? Who is he talking to? He is his remnant. Watch this here. And I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They are the ones that worship at Satan's synagogue. Now, let's go on. Then when you get, he said, go to Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9. He said, does not it say the same thing? Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say that they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and ye and know that I have loved thee. Now, this right here, when you look at it, it's saying the same thing as Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. Somewhat, but he says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say that they are the Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Now, wouldn't this here also stand for those that's over there, over in Israel? How did it still get in here? But yet it's not applied to them. You see? How is that? It's not applied to them, but yet they claim to be the Jews. So how was this able to get in here? You know why? It was never in their hearts and in their minds that anyone would find out who's who and what's what. That's how long they was been ruling the world. They had no idea that no one, because they did not know the plan of the Father. So as they took and the strolls and they added, they took away, they smeared, they wiped up, they add stuff to, they still didn't think. It wasn't that they couldn't think, it was that Yah's thoughts and the way he does things overrides them. So listen to what happened. So then you get to Revelation chapter 2. The first thing he was showing me was, wouldn't that stand for the Jews over there? Why would it be the Jews over here on the four corners, which are said to be the true Jews, and those Jews that's over there is said to be the Jews of the synagogue of Satan. That's because the synagogue of Satan is not over there. They are the people who worship at the synagogue of Satan. They're the ones supports it. Okay, the synagogue of Satan. But listen to this, verse 12. It tells you, no, it's not verse 12, verse 13. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 13. I know thy works and where thou dwellest. Even, watch this here, even where Satan's seat is. Why haven't nobody been preaching that? Had they preached it, they'll realize it's right here in the United States. What is keeping people from seeing it? Right there, it is identifying that Satan has a seat. And it's calling out that the Most High knows where Satan's seat is. Watch this here. And thou hast held fast my name and has not denied my faith. Even in those days wherein Antipas, what is that? Antipas was my faithful martyr who was slain among you, where Satan dwells. So the Most High has given us something to go on. What do you mean, Deborah? Those who are the light of the world, you have things that he's showing you by his spirit that shows you exactly where Satan resides, where his seat is at, and who are the ones that worship him in his synagogue. So his synagogue is here in the United States of America. Because when he bring America down, remember, Satan is going to be chained for 1,000 years. You would think he would go, his seat would go somewhere else. His seat ain't going nowhere else, but to the uttermost darkness to be chained. You see what I'm saying? So his seat actually in where Yah has already gave us an insight of where he resided. You see what I'm saying? So his place of where his seat is at and the place that he dwells would have to be a place that y'all gonna destroy because he also gonna send him away. It can't be over in Israel. It can't be over in Iran. I'm speaking of the seat of Satan and the place he dwells. It cannot be nowhere but where he is going to be taken from and chained, and that would be Babylon. Why ain't they preaching that and teaching that? And the reason why I'm saying why are they not is because as I was speaking to y'all today, how is it that people are 1,000,000,000,000,000 trillion miles from him? How could they be so far from him? He said that it goes back to that narrow gate, Deborah. I already know who's going to find the way because I made the way for them. That's just showing you how awesome I created the narrow gate. Ain't just no anybody and everybody going to go nowhere near it. Let no one's go through it. And it makes so much sense. Because the more he showed me and revealed things to me as far as bringing the light out of the darkness, it leads me to see that the whole world sits in darkness. But what ain't going to sit in darkness is the same light that moved upon the face of the deep from the beginning before he created anything. That same light is going to pull up in these end days. Just to show you, check, I'm that light. I was in the beginning, and I'm going to pull out at the end. See, you all don't understand. A lot of people, and a lot of these churches be talking about Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end. They got all these words of how they think they done mastered him. But Sister Deborah is pulling up with so much light to see and how dark it really has been since the beginning of time, since the day of creation, all the way into now. You think he got a problem about how dark it is now? You think that the Most High got an issue with of how dark at midnight hour we're in now? What about the darkness in the beginning? The earth was void and without form. Darkness was upon the deep. Y'all been. He ain't moved by it being pitch dark today. Because guess what? Before he created anything, it was already there. So you see how people going to lose their eternal life, riding in all this darkness, never knowing that they had a light that's going to live eternal. That same light is going to live eternal in the lake of hell. See, that's what they didn't understand. That light was their spirit. That's what you can't destroy a person's spirit. But the lake of fire will. And just imagine living you got people living 100 years old, don't know nothing about their spirit. And he created at the beginning. And they've been in church 80 years. And no one ever told them. That too must have been a plan of the Most High God for us to be where we at today and no lesser as the days go on. And feel good about it. You know why they feel good about it? You know why people feel good about it? Because it's allowed them to get the glory in their flesh and feel good. Because the more you don't know, the less you know about your spirit, the more glory your flesh get. That's how your flesh get uplifted and boast and ego, self-centered, pride, narcissist, because you don't have any idea of anything, and your flesh loves it. It loves the idea that I don't have to know anything. I don't know anything. It ain't about me knowing anything. Oh, baby. When I wonder what did he know when he said he made the narrow gate. I wonder what did he know when he said a small remnant. Them don't sound like a whole lot of people, y'all. You got to also, what people don't understand, y'all measurement is not coming today in the year 2025. Y'all measurement is coming from the day Adam was created up until now. Hello, and the time on. See? That's why I was telling y'all, people are bent when they thinking 144,000. It's something to be hooping and hollering about. You got to go all the way back from the beginning of Adam, all the way up until now. And then you tell me. You can. But the mindsets of people, they can't see it like that. They just looking at, I know I'm going. I'm in that 144. I know I'm going. And the reason why I always say that, y'all, because that's what my gift allowed me to say. The gift of discerning. The spirits of people is so closed off into their mindset that all I have to do is nothing. And no, your works is let me explain something to y'all. The reason why your works is not going to measure how you get in and how you get out, or if you in or if you out. But your works identify who you are to be, whether you're a serpent seed or a spiritual seed. See, that's what people don't understand. They figure, hey, I don't have to do nothing but you're right, you don't. You can't do what he ain't give you to do. If he ain't give you nothing, you can't do nothing. You see? They don't think of it like that. They just assume that I'm all that and all this, and I got the keys to the kingdom. You better check with Paul, not Paul, Peter. Peter tell you I had all that and some and all power. I had it. But look how I went out of here. But at least I was about the works. I was about being the servant of Yah. Right today, no one cares about being anything in Yah. They just got in their heads. And it's okay because that's their flesh mind and their flesh heart. That I'm in there 100 and can't nobody tell me no different. Because I know his name. Do you know a lot of people think because they know his name? At least so they think. I know I'm in there. So they so sure. So that's what's going to get them. Because I'm a prophetess in the wilderness, and I am not going to tell you I'm a sure. I'm not going to tell you that. Oh, I know I got my key. I know I'm in there. I can tell you he gives me a lot of gifts. He talked to me every day. He revealed things to me every day. He blesses me. He's given me his anointed. It's so many things he's given me, but I'm going to tell you this. I will not stand up and tell you I live a living like I have already received my ticket to the kingdom. I will not tell no one that. And I told you, if I had to stand before the throne, all I'm going to do is hang my head because I know I'm not worthy to enter into that kingdom like that. But if it is, it's because he know what he has invested in me, in my spirit that I had no idea of, that got me back to where he sent me from. Outside of that, But I can guarantee you, when I sit here and say, yeah, I got my keys and I know I'm going, let me explain something. You all do not take it serious when I say that. People really has that mindset. And that's how they're going to go out here with that same mindset. Now, I ain't saying they're going to the Mount Zion. I'm talking about like they came in, everybody got to go out. This is their mindset they're going to go out with all the way to the out. Because they don't feel nothing. They are numb to any and everything that's even being taught to them, because they put themselves in the narrow gate already. And hey, they put themselves in the narrow gate, and guess what they did? Closed the gate behind them. They in the narrow gate already. And the reason why I do that and say that is because I can discern that. And when I say I'm discerning it, I'm not just discerning it from those that's here on this page listening to Sister Deborah. This is from many that have listened to Sister Deborah. They still out there with that same mindset, going to and fro. Figured, hey, that's how easy it is. And it is easy. But you know what makes it easy? Anybody know? Do you know what makes it easy? It ain't your choice. It ain't something you have a choice in. Heaven's already got it wrote out and wrote in. All you have to do is, but you can't serve him if he didn't call you to serve him. So that's another thing. But what he was explaining to me in Revelation is, when you're going around here, Deborah, trying to understand how is these people teaching these people nothing, and has missed Genesis to Revelation in the understanding of it in the spirit. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? See, they can understand in the words which given to the flesh, but they don't understand it in the spirit. That's why it has not been taught, you guys. This is why when they come on, they go straight out. Once you say something, whoop, let me get out of here. You know why? Because they've been taught the lie. And the lie is the only thing that soothes them. That's the only thing make them run on. That's the only thing they desire. That's the only thing they want, is the lie. That's the only thing that makes them sleep. That's the only thing that make them think that they can go on and on and on. And when they get up, they go on to the kingdom. That's their mindset. Because long as they can assure the flesh that everything is like their flesh is keep telling, their own flesh tell them, they good. They good. And I sit back, I said, Father, it's just too many. It just seems like so unfair, though, Father. It's too many of these people teaching people and ain't giving them nothing. And the people are loving it because they want something to soothe their flesh. They don't want nothing to tamper with their spirit. Do y'all understand why? Let me tell you why. Let's say, for instance, they find out that in the beginning, everything he created and that it was his power. People have spoken to so many people and taught other people. They will not want to go back and get it right. That's another thing. These pastors of these mega churches and these people, if y'all were to pay them a visit and say, you better tell them right now, they won't. They won't. Because they have told the lie, knowing it was a lie, to the point that they are willing to live and die with their own truth of what they've been feeding everybody. Why? It's like this. If I got to go to hell, I'm taking everybody with me. That's what a lot of people don't understand. That's why Joe Osteen and TD Jakes still doing the same old mess. Did y'all know that? He's still doing the same old mess. He ain't doing nothing no different. And a lot of y'all wouldn't even believe it, wouldn't even know that. He ain't doing nothing no different. He's still tipping and dipping in that homosexual mess. Why? Because people still placed him as y'all's representative. Mhm. People still placed him. Joe Osteen don't pick up the Bible and say anything. He always got to talk about his dead daddy and give stories. But he gives every word come out of his mouth is dedicated to the flesh of men and women. And he has successfully built that big mega church with, I don't know how many, it's a lot of members. That's how he was able to survive it. I mean, not survive it, to conquer what he has mastered. Same thing with TD Jakes. I think TD Jakes, I think he got 3 locations. I think it's 3. A smaller one, but 2 big ones. I know one in Georgia and somewhere else. But I'm just still saying, putting his daughter there, you can't put your daughter somewhere y'all ain't put her. Why can't these people understand that? Y'all has to call you. You're going to put your daughter so you can keep on keeping home, doing what you're doing, and continuing what you're continuing. Let me explain something. I know it's this one man, he had left, and it's something that he had did. And he was a pastor. He's an old head, and I can't remember his name. But do you know he came back? That is exactly what I'm saying to you all. This is the sort of mess people are entertaining. He came to be, had all the men ushering him back into the ministry, as if that's all it took after he stepped down. It's because the same spirit is in him. And if you thinking you can show the world that you can get a bunch of men that's really ushering you back in. He had left the church because the people wanted him to leave because of something that happened between him and his wife. Now, I was looking, I heard it, and I when I see that, I think, okay, Father, I get it. I really get it. That's what they get. That's what people get. And I think people need to receive exactly what they need to receive if they are born to be deceived and be the to walk and to live and die in darkness and deception. Then that's for them. That's how I see it. Because from what it looked like, it's 99.9. Okay, so there was another thing that I noticed. One of the Winans sons, he is a wealthy, I don't know if you all know that. He is a wealthy pastor. Okay. Now, you know, the Winans had two or three, I ain't gonna say three, but I know two for sure that were gay. And a lot of people accepted them and didn't even think, and even in the church, because I said that's unfair. If you said Eddie Long was out here practicing it, and CC and BB, I think whining, the guy, he was gay, stone cold gay. But yet, how did Eddie Long get so ridiculed and he didn't? I knew he stepped out for a moment, but he started making his own music. The CC and BB, I think his name is BB, right? Or CC, I don't know, whatever they name. But look how they sold to the world, and the world bowed down to them in their music. They even allowed their music to be sold, played in uh lounges and places like that. They made music so they can flip it two ways. And this is what I'm trying to say. This is the sort of stuff I was saying to the Father today, is that it's just off it, but then it does match. It matched Noah back in the days of Noah, because people tend to really see things in that lane more so than anything. In the days of Noah, they see identical in that category, in that lane. You see, and it's a strange thing, because I'm like saying, okay, then when you say a remnant, it makes all sense, Father, because people are not who they think who they portray. No, they ain't even portraying. I don't even know if hypocrite is something that the majority. Hypocrite is something that many portray. But right today, everybody is strictly open, and they have decided to accept any and everything. But one of the Winans brother, he was on national. I saw it, y'all. I saw it after someone told me to look at it. And he's wealthy. I don't know if y'all know that they are wealthy. And like I said, the one used to sing BB and CC Winan, he was gay. And the other one that passed away, he was gay. You see? And they've been in church ever since they were little kids. You see? And then nobody bothered them. And then it said, it showed, when I saw this lady came to Pastor Winan, and she gave him an envelope with 1,200. She told him, this is 1,200. He said, I didn't tell you to give me 12. I told you to give me 2,000. Do 12 sound like 2,000? He said something really negative. But the point I'm making, that's what they get. It is not something that the world takes, and you see all these people on YouTube doing it and talking about he's greedy and he's this and he this and he's a this. Well, how do you think he got wealthy? Doing what he doing on nationwide television. That's why they don't have no shame, because they doing it straight in the face of the people, and the people are responding to whatever they have them to give and to do. Now, why would you sit there knowing these people was videoing you? She handing you 1,200, you telling her, no, I didn't say 12. I said 2,000. Everybody worked to give 2,000. I guess that's what he. And just imagine, you're already wealthy. Why would you ask people in this day and time to give that? And if the people give it to them, that's what they get. That's what they get. See, the people did not understand, and they still don't understand. But like the Father said, Deborah, that's what they get. That's what they want to serve. That's who they want to worship. Let them serve their God. That's what that is about. Because they were videoing him. Now you got about 10, maybe 15 other video or YouTubers making a big thing on YouTube about it, showing that he did this. But what are you talking about? All of y'all doing it. This man doing it in front of everybody, because that's how he been doing it 20, 30 years and longer. Everybody think that this is how you're supposed to do it. You don't do that. You're wealthy, and you having your people in your sanctuary to give you $2,000, everybody, and you're going to tell the lady that gave you only 12 right before her face, and she walked away. She had her little, I guess it was her grandbaby with her. She walked away, shame, because she didn't meet his obligation. That's what they get. Because this is how all these people have gotten rich. Same way with all these YouTubers. This is how they got wealthy, by teaching you nothing. And you're not only supplying them financially, you're supplying them by this, letting them think what they saying is the word of Yah, and all it is the deception for your flesh. You're still not getting anything. Yah moves based on what a person have, what a person got, what a person have. That's how he rumbled. And he put it in the individual by from him to them. He does not have you say, give me $2,000, but they've been doing that for so long. Let me tell y'all, when I was in the Christian church, let me tell you, this pastor, she would get mad. Her husband was a pastor, and she was the assistant pastor. She would get mad. Boy, let me tell you, my mother was the pastor's aide, and mama made so much money for them. So my mother was selling all these steaks, right? And she was doing the steaks, and she wanted me to do her bookkeeping. Okay. So I was doing the bookkeeping, and she was selling steaks, and these steaks, like steaks, ribeye, New York steak, 8-ounce ribeye, 6-ounce, just, and it was, what else was it? Was that it? I think it wasn't chicken breast. I don't think it was. All I know is that my mother was selling it, and she one time that I think it was like the second load, my mother made like $56,000. $56,000 for the church, for Pastor A. Now that was her second load. Even when I was working for Chrysler, I even sold some of her steaks, they boxes of steaks at Chrysler. I was her bookkeeper, keeping the tab on how many she sold and how much each one of them cost. So I remember at the time where everybody that was auxiliary of the church, everybody would have to come on the pastor's day and give the money, what they have fundraised or what they have raised. My mother gave that lady $56,000. And that lady stood right there. Well, I'm there now. I'm watching, told my mother, is this all you made? Woo! Helen Jean. Woo-wee. She picked the wrong person to say that to. That lady picked the wrong person to say that to. And she knew not to mess with that woman. My mother front her off and told her, you won't see me do it again. I kept the bookkeeping. Mama gave her every penny of it. Now, you got to understand, y'all. My mother made this money to give to you for nothing. Now, you have like 26 groups in the church that made fundraising. That was Mama's fundraising. And then you have the nerve to, you picked the wrong one. Oh man, for months, my mother didn't say nothing to that lady. Kept trying to beg my mother to go out to dinner. My mother went out to dinner with her, and she apologized to my mother. My mother told her, I accept your apology, but never again. My mother did not sell them things anymore. She don't play. She didn't do it no more. So what I'm saying is, Sister Joshua, which was the assistant pastor, and her husband, they did that stuff for so long, ripping those members off all the time. And my mother always, and Mama did steaks one time, I think Mama sold tickets another time. Mama always made big money for just to get a pastor for the put in their pocket. I said, no way, no way, And I saw how they ran them churches, and not just that one, but others. I always was the back one, sitting back watching their darkness take place. And I'm sitting here trying to convince my mother, Mama, they not right. Mama, they not right. Constantly over and over and over. My mother winged from that place like quick. That lady searched for her and kept begging her to come back. My mother didn't play, baby. She didn't play with that one. She was like, I did that, and you mean I thought I was doing something, giving you $56,000. I gave you everything I made. And then you gonna sit and tell me, is that all? She really hurt my mother's feelings. But guess what? That's what mama get. That's what she get. And I say that to any and everybody. People get what they ask for. You want to follow darkness, support darkness, go right ahead. Go right ahead. That light was put on the earth for a reason. And if you don't go the way of the light, you keep going the way of the darkness. Just don't get tired nor weary because that's the way you're going to continue to go. And the way you started off is the way you're going to continue to go. The route you're going to continue to go. So if anybody in the live chat have any questions, someone might have answers or might have a question they want to ask Sister Deborah. And another thing I would say, the Father was telling me about in Revelation about the seat and the residence where Satan dwells. The whole country should know that this is the synagogue of Satan. This is where Satan resides. But because, no, I don't do it, Deborah. Don't give them no reason to get out of it. The sad thing about it, that's what they get. That's what people get, what they need to get and receive what they need to receive, because it's too long, y'all. It's been going on for too long. People been following this stuff for too long, and everybody's still walking around like it ain't nothing wrong with it. So that's why I'm waiting for what he has prepared for Babylon. And I'm not going to be in Babylon, but I'm waiting for the tribulation so he can take the Father take his next step to what he's going to do with his, because it ain't going good, y'all. It ain't going to the light. People are packing up, going straight into the darkness. I'm telling you what I see from the wilderness, from what he is allowing me to see, what I'm beholding. They're going straight through the darkness. They're not coming out. They're going deeper and deeper in, following all these things of the world, and feel good about it. So I, Sister Deborah, say, I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. I hope you get something out of it. And I say unto you, shalom and shalom.